All right. I want to start off my speech by asking the crowd, how many of you have family members or friends in the military? Okay. How many of you would be absolutely mad if you found out that one of your family members or friends got injured because one of their comrades couldn't perform up to their standard? They couldn't perform and save your friend's or family's life or save them from getting injured. So I'm an ROTC cadet here at UF, and I don't know if many of you know, but recently the DoD has allowed women to go into combat MOSs or jobs in the Army, including SF, which stands for Special Forces, or the Green Berets. So one of the reasons why this is a bad idea is because it brings standards down in the military. Now, in the military, it's about life and death. So if you reduce your standards, that could mean, someone dying or someone living. Another thing is sexual harassment. When women are allowed to go into combat MOSs, sexual harassment is increased exponentially. Okay. Now, to start things off, I'd like to start with an example. This is a picture of, I'm trying to move this. All right. The APFT. So everyone in the Army has to take this APFT, which consists of push-ups, sit-ups, and a run. Now, men and women differ on the APFT. For a man to max his PT score, he has to do more than a woman does. So even though the DoD is fighting for equality in the military, it is still not equal. The RAND Corps created a study and found out that 85% of the special forces oppose women being allowed to try out for their school, which is called Special Forces Assessment and Selection. And one of these soldiers said that he weighs 225, 280 with full gear. He does not feel comfortable with a woman that weighs 130, 150, 170 pounds, dragging him to safety, knowing that he weighs so much with all his gear. Also, another research corporation named Pew found out that 30% of women in the military are actually working in administration. So why is this such a big deal? Well, it can lead to the loss of life. And in the military, the loss of life can mean that the mission is a complete failure, which can lead to more loss of life. Now, a man by the name of Matthew Cox, he was a Marine Corps officer and is now a journalist, found out that when women try out for the Marine Corps infantry, they don't have to do pull-ups, which is part of their APF, or physical fitness test, which seems very unfair. It's like going to an exam and then your professor says, okay, all the girls don't have to do questions 27 through 30. You're excused from them. It's not really fair. You're missing part of the exam. This is Defense Secretary Ash Carter. He's the one that made the decision. Therefore, he's the one that we need to contact, that we need to reach out to. The DoD also found out that women make up 15% of the Army, and that the VA found out that 1 in 5 of these females face military sexual trauma. Now this statistic is wide, so it covers every branch of the Army, not just combat MOSs. In combat MOSs, this is 1 in 3 women. Okay, Now, what happens if we do something? If we keep the standards that we have and make it so that women have to meet the standards that men have to reach? Well, this will lead to a more efficient military, knowing that everybody in your platoon or battalion, whatever it may be, is up to standards. If women are not up to standards in a combat situation, that means life or death, and you can't play around with those things. Okay. So, what can we do? To start things off, we can sign this petition online. If you just go to Google and type in this right there, the first thing that will pop up is this website called change.org. They're a petition signing website that allows people to get their voice heard. Now, the only way to actually prevent women from joining combat MOSs is for Secretary Ash Carter to do something. So I encourage you to contact your congressman and tell them, express your feelings, so that one of your family members, one of your friends, do not end up passing away because of the inability for someone to save them. Also, I'd like to end off with some of the negatives that women face by going into combat MOSs. Women actually face mental problems more than men do when they're in the military. So it's not just for the safety of the people already in the military, it's for the safety of the women going in the military that want to join combat MOSs. They're more prone to getting things such as PTSD. And that is all.